Why would we want to be in family? So here I've laid out all these challenges, right? It's like, wow, there's one after the other. Why would we do this, right? What's the advantage? Why not just sell it all or divide up the assets and go out on our own? Well, there are great advantages. There's long-term decision-making horizons. Think of our competitors, if they're non-family businesses, and let's say they're listed businesses. Very short-term windows of analysis, right? In the U.S., we talk with privately held companies about the advantage of not being scrutinized every 3 months by Wall Street analysts who want to know quarterly earnings and reports and want to predict cash flows and who will make recommendations about buying or selling our stock based on very short-term key performance metrics. I was with a family business client in San Antonio, Texas. So it's not a confidential relationship. They've talked about working with me for a number of years. They're called HEB. They're a grocery chain. The largest privately held grocery chain in the United States. Revenues of 19 billion US dollars. And when they do their analysis of property, right, because the real estate business, the grocery business is really a real estate business when it comes right down to it. And they look at a piece of property and they run return on invested capital analyses for 50 years. 50 years when they look at a piece of property. That's outstanding. It creates this system of patience and capital responsibility and discipline. Unconventional strategies. Family businesses can think differently because of these horizons. They don't have to feel like the goal is to maximize profits every day. They can work to try and improve a community. So I work with a family in Maryland, and their business is creating beautiful communities. Beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been into places like Seaside, Florida, or Celebration, Florida, where these communities are like Disneyland. I mean, they're perfect, and they're perfectly maintained, and they're artistic and gorgeous. The family that I work with in Maryland, their focus is to create beautiful communities that people want to live in. And they don't care at the end of a year whether their net profit margin was 3.7% or 4.2%. They literally don't care because that's not the goal. They want to make money, and they have to make money. But their goal is to create this vision of art and life and to change people's lives for the better. Family businesses can do that. Ownership, management, harmony. I don't know if any of you saw the movie The Big Short or read the book The Big Short, which is Michael Lewis. He's an American writer who kind of analyzed what really happened on Wall Street in 2007, 2006, leading up to the crash. One of the things that struck me as I read the book, I'd read about credit default swaps and mortgage-backed securities and tranches and all these high-level financial ideas, and I didn't get it. And I'd go back and I'd read it again. And I still didn't understand it. And I'd go back and I'd read it again. And I started to get a little sense of what he was really talking about. But at the end of the book, you realize the problem was no one knew what they were doing. Truly, buyers didn't know what they were buying. Sellers didn't know what they were selling. They didn't understand the risk. There were characters in these organizations that were out to reap as much immediate cash flow as they could. And I realized as I read it, who owns these companies? Where's the face of the family or the individual who has capital at risk there? The face was some fund manager, right? Family businesses have the advantage of having your name on your business. And your name is associated with you, your fathers, your grandfathers, your family members. And you interact with each other on that kind of a level. And that's very valuable. Because reputation is tied to faces and names rather than numbers on a spreadsheet somewhere. And that's a tremendous value long term. And then market knowledge, being close to customers. I often like to think about the literal physical difference between family owners and their customers of their businesses. Literally, they're interacting with them more often than non-family large corporations where the owners way over here and their customers who are buying their products and services are over here. So there's great advantage to having family businesses.